Hi, my name is Z Kessler, and today I'm going to teach you how I use my Thunder Laser to make packaging for my small business. I run a company called Magic Trout Imaginarium where I sell felting kits to teachers and curious creators. Wool is very fluffy and it has a lot of air in it. So one of the challenges I have with packaging is that shipping costs a lot of money. As you can see in this package here, it's pretty wide even though the weight is very minimal. So if I can make this size thinner and smaller, I can ship my wool in just a flat envelope rather than in a package. I'm going to design some packaging on cardstock where there's notches built in the sides, and the notches will allow the wool to be wrapped around. I'll put that cardstock with the wool inside a vacuum sealed envelope, suck the air out. Hopefully that means it's flat enough that I can fit my packaging and my wool in a standard envelope. As it stands right now, sending something like this is about $15 to $20 across Canada, and the product is almost the same price. Let's see how we can use the Thunder Laser to solve this problem.